And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third hour of our first issue of Misfits. So, you have successfully guided the hostages from out the lobby, and most people here are like getting mopped up, right? We saw a trespass like descend upon one of the women, and then like maybe we see them like roll out and like leg sweep another one, like to bring down these nerds. Entry, what are you doing? What does your participation in like mopping up these people look like?
First, I had a question.
Yeah, ask a question.
Those collars with the injectors, who had those?
Basically, like everyone here who wasn't an animal.
So both victims and bad guys.
No, only bad guys. Sorry, my bad. I understand what you meant now when you said who. Only the bad guys.
Okay.
Bad guys.
In that case, Entry mumbles to himself, if these things are supposed to be remotely activated, there'll be a frequency. And then he does a sweep, trying to find that frequency, so he can jam it.
Sweet.
Oh, this is where Moira should be a fuck nugget and just cock block him. And make them shut
Why?
up. Like, nah, deactivate.
So yeah, you want to scan for the frequency?
Let him have his moment.
Yes.
I'm into that. So yeah, give us a roll of freak to unleash your powers to extend your senses.
I really need to get better at that. Okay.
Crushed.
Ow.
You do the thing.
Never mind.
So you're scanning for the frequency, and you get like one reading. There is like a single signal like it's like connecting them all, and you trace it to further inside, like down in the vault of the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to like shut it off so that it won't be activated remotely.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that.
So he shuts it off and says,
We see like a little orange lamp on the side of the colors, like turn yellow.
"Oh, I think we've got someone important further in." Trespass.
Yes?
Let's do Operation Gemini, he says, and throws a blue egg towards her.
She catches it.
Yes, and
What
that
is
was
Operation
bumped.
Gemini?
It's basically him using his Gemini egg,
Yes.
which is a gadget.
Cool.
There's a picture of it in his
Bio.
sheet. Yes. If it, a lot of his smaller gadgets have the activation requirement that if they get bumped, such as being caught, they'll activate. So the little egg, as soon as it touches her, unfolds into a little helicopter, scans her briefly, and then projects a hologram of her.
All right.
So that basically there are now two trespass.
Okay. So you wanna use this to like your advantage in taking out these nerds?
Yes, or at least I'm hoping she will.
That's a good.
Oh, definitely. Now they will have to contend with two of me, and okay, one of them won't actually hurt them, but it'll be a target.
They don't know that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So it'll be a target, which allows me to do stuff.
Oh, most assuredly. I think we see that to like great effect. We get like a shot of you maybe doing like a flying kick and like knocking one of these people out. Where
Yes.
like one of them is shooting at you, and like just like the shot just goes through, right? Because it's a hologram.
Yep. Yeah,
that's
and I
good.
guess at that point, I imagine it goes right through it goes through the hologram, and then right behind the guy who's been shooting, there's just this wrong target. Just quietly just saying wrong target, and then the next thing you see is that the back of his shirt collar rises a little bit as she grabs it and just half twists it with the hook sword, and then just slams him into the ground.
That raises a very important question to me.
Yes.
What is the automatopoeia when you slam him into the ground?
The what?
The onomatopoeia.
What's it sound like?
Yeah, what when we see Trespass like physically slams someone into the ground, what is
Yes.
the word written on the page? What is her wapow or her plonk or her whatever?
Oh, like so. In that situation, I think I'm going to put him through a table, so it'll be a very jagged crash.
Of course. Wonderful. I love it. Oh, so good. Okay, cool. So so you do that. We see like we have like these like a series of panels, or just I think one wide panel and then like 1 or 2 panels in panel of you guys like playing squash, like having a squash match with these bank robbers now that they don't have hostages anymore. And we see like we have another panel like from further inside in the bank, like down in the vault, and we see the vault door open up, and like a bunch of people in bank robbery masks and stuff like walk into it, and we see a silhouette of a fella like standing in the vault doorway. Then there's a cry from behind him, and he turns around and looks, and one of the bank robbers with like a big like with his mask off and like a blue eye and like a bit of like some scuff marks is like dragging himself along the floor. Is like, "Sir, heroes, what are we supposed to do?" And we see the silhouette like turn around, and when we see the silhouette, it has like square shoulders and a top hat. And it turns around and like walks towards the guy, and we see the person like we see him like enter the light, and we see it's like a guy dressed as like a circus ringmaster, with like a big red like schnurrbart, like a big red mustache, like fancily twirled.
What's his name? The Sprechstallmeister.
It like the caption just reads the ringmaster. And he says, "I suppose it is time."
Why do you want? Sorry, but why do you want poor Stone Cold Steve Austin to get mixed up in this? That was his ring name before.
No, okay, don't go there. It's one day I will run.
But
one
we
day
already went there, Daniel.
One day I will run some wrestling RPGs on this channel, and at that point we'll get there. But yeah,
Does he look like Hugh Jackman?
Sure he does.
Except with a schnurrbart.
And a bit fatter, right? He has a bit like a little bit pudge in his cheeks, and he like walks forward. It's like, "It's time for the ringmaster to grab the audience's attention," and he walks forward into the shot. Outside in the lobby, we get like a mobbing up shot. Right? We see like Recon like holding one of the guys like with like a fist, like have I knocked you out kind of shot. Is there a need for me to punch this guy kind of shot, and you basically
little crosses in the eyes of the guy he's holding, and his tongue is lolling a little bit.
Exactly. And then from a stairway in not from atop a stairway actually, like emerging from a door in the other end of the room, walks in a figure dressed as, well, the ringmaster, as I described. Like, he's wearing this red jacket with these like, I don't know what it's called when it has these like sleeves behind it. But you know,
coattails?
Like, yeah, coattails.
Coattails.
Yeah, like this coattailed jacket. He walks in, slow clapping as he does so.
Oh god.
He's like clap, 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 and he looks upon you and says, "Ah, youngsters, I had hoped at least to attract someone more with more veterancy. Well, you made your last mistake here, children. Behold, the power of the ringmaster!" And he takes out a whip and cracks it, and like out from behind him comes jumping a kangaroo with like rock'em sock'em like boxing gloves on, and a bear wearing a tutu riding a cycle.
Oh god!
Rides out towards you. What do you do?
That is the least impressed I've ever been.
Yeah, Rickon is like standing next to Wagner, just like looking at them.
Actually,
You know what? I had the weirdest feeling of deja vu ever. We've been here before.
Yeah, like Vanguard's like rubbing the back of his neck. He's like, "I this would have been a little bit more impressive. He's like whispering to Recon.
What was the last guy that tried to do it? What was his name?
That tried to rob the bank.
No. The like the very first the way ago. Like we did this thing, and then the other adults show up. Do you remember this?
I'm sorry. Could you pay attention?
No, we can't.
Does he crack his whip again by any chance?
Not right now. He's like right like at this moment he's more like disheartened that you're not looking at him. He's like, hey, I'm over here. Like,
yeah, like I remember
So-
there was a thing. There was like this blue flying guy. Like he was like something like chill.
Well, I have an idea at least. But yeah.
Something like that.
Eternity?
No. That was the bad guy.
so I'm hearing some stuff here, and I can't help but wondering if you're trying to provoke him.
I've got an idea for what I'm
Probably.
going to do at least. But yeah, let's see if you provoke him first,
I
or
mean,
if that's
the
what he
question
wants
is
to
what
do.
you're doing, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to. Yeah, no, sorry, the others. Them first.
Yeah, I think provoking would be perfect here, actually.
We have tandem provoking him.
All right.
Yes.
So what are you provoking him to do? I hear you wanting to get your asses beat is what I'm hearing, but I'm wondering what it is you want.
No, well, like provoking him to throw a hissy fit.
Yeah, tell us his secret plan.
No, just to throw a hissy fit. Like
You want him to monologue? That's it.
Why him be so fucking offended that he starts monologuing about how evil and
Yeah. Bad
big
evil.
Oh, that
he
is so
is
good.
because you're just completely ignoring him and
Because-
you want him to start telling you why you shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Sure, I'm 100% into that. Let's have you try and and provoke this guy. He is listening
I
to what
love
you're
it.
saying right now. He's totally into it.
I don't know who like. Do you want me to lead this, or do you want to lead?
Yeah, you can go ahead and lead it. Can Brain get a +1 for the tandem talking?
You can spend a team pool if it becomes
yeah.
necessary.
Okay.
He definitely gets like help, right? The banter is
Right.
is what's causing this, and I think like just to
Oh my god!
Oh.
That's
Wow.
just one
Ow.
above. Uh-oh.
I think that's a problem.
so
1 + 1.
Is this
Hey,
Snake
guys.
Eyes?
so you're
Hey, keep my eyes out of it.
so let's see. Okay, so you try and like provoke the
Poor
guy,
guys.
and you do an excellent job of it. It's clearly working. However, when you say that, he's flustered for a moment, and we see like the animals that he's like been commanding out here like also stop and pause, and they have like that little sweat drop of like what's happening. Like
It doesn't even say what happens on a miss.
when
No, it doesn't.
no, I know what happens to the mist, don't worry.
Well,
Yeah, because the miss is not defined.
Indeed. So he's flustered for a second, and then he like puts like he rubs his face and like adjusts his schnurrbart a bit, and, like adjusts his hat, and then he says, "Well, I see what you're doing there, naughty children, thinking you can pull one over on the ringmaster, do you? Well, I've been around the block more times than you know, I'll have you know, and I won't have you be so overbearing." And he cracks his whip, and the bear rides forward like
When
really
he cracks
fast.
his whip, I'd like to do something. By the way,
Yeah, that's this thing
Yeah.
happens
Yes.
because of the failure.
Yes.
So he cracks the whip, and the bear rides forward, and we see like this little like electronic engine on its on its bicycle like kick up, and it suddenly just zooms across the floor like zzz, and like rides towards the two of you, and and as it does so, the bear like it has this like ballerina tutu on, and it just like
poor bear.
it reaches out a paw and just clotheslines you as it's riding past.
I really love that.
Oh, good.
Beaten by a bear on a tiny bike in a tutu. They're never gonna
Also
live that
want
one
to-
down.
There's no doubt that Entry's going to find the footage of this later, just for having.
I am so sure that Moira is standing there with a phone filming it.
So both of you get knocked on your asses by this, as it just like suddenly skips by you and just like whacks you. Actually, I want to ask if Vanguard, do you also get caught up in this, or do you want to because you didn't help on the fictionally you're involved in the role, right? But
Right.
I want to give you the opportunity to get out of the way. But we know Recon at least gets clipped by this.
Oh no, it's funnier, I think, if Vanguard gets clipped by it too.
I agree. So both of you get knocked down. Both of you take a condition of your choice to represent how you feel about this.
Oh, that's
And there's
easy.
not an embarrassed one.
Insecure.
Yeah, I put up a link there.
Oh, that bear is amazing.
Oh,
It's on a trike. That's just.
how
Alright.
am I guilty?
So
Oh my god.
that happens, and and he cracks the whip a second time, and then what happens? Trespass.
Well, what she does is she still got that little she still got the Gemini thing, so there's still a hologram of her. And what she wants to do is have that hologram do something incredibly foolish, namely charge right at the man, and then when he cracks his whip at that thing, she wants to bring up the hook, specifically the hook on one sword, entangle it, and then use the other sword to cut it.
Interesting.
She wants to take his whip away from him, basically.
Yeah, you're. I see what you're doing here. So okay, cool. I think you're directly engaging.
Yes, I would imagine.
All right.
Um,
Go, Trespass, go.
well, it's my best stat, so see me fail.
I mean, I could feasibly assist you due to the egg.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
no,
you
don't
don't
watch
need
me
to.
fail.
No need to. The egg was very efficient, I guess.
Yes, it was.
Well done.
That's-
Yeah,
It's the
egg
gift that
helps.
keeps on giving.
So that's 2 I pick, right?
Yeah, you pick 2 from the list.
So
You
take-
exchange blows with the guy, and
Yes.
then something happens.
I take something away from him,
Yeah. Take
which
the whip.
is the whip in this case,
Mhm.
and I think I'm going to impress him because, quite frankly, that's almost a circus trick in itself.
So you can do what you do is you pick impress, surprise, or frighten, and I pick
Yes.
which it is. But
Yes.
I completely agree. So you do this thing, and like you run towards him, and I think he when you run towards him, like, twins! You should have a career in the circus, and like cracks his whip at the first of you whom he perceives, and the exact thing that you say happens, and you like entangle the whip and well, for lack of a better word, whip it out of his hands.
Yes.
Well done. And I think like he tries to like get at you when you do so, and I think
Of
you like
course.
you knock him down or something, right? Like he's a big guy, but in the moment of surprise, you can just like level a kick at him, and he like falls backwards.
Yes.
Well done. So that definitely happens. I'm gonna make a note here
Ooh.
that is the thing that happened.
The second she kicks him back,
Mm-hmm.
Moira's gonna catch him and entangle him,
All right.
Oh, nice! I love
keeping
that.
from moving at all.
All right.
Teamwork.
So,
Yes,
partner,
teamwork.
welcome to the
Very
real circus.
Let us do this thing.
I love it.
So, I see what you're doing here. What is this?
Directly engaging?
So it's probably something like that. No,
You
so
can
I
take
see.
his freedom away from him
Here's-
by direct engaging.
Here's what it is. So, you can definitely go and move to grab him. Totally do that. But he's not kicked into your grip. For that would require.
So I have to catch him?
You have to basically go for him. He's not not being kicked towards you, but you can
Okay.
like go for him and
Okay.
try it, because that was
So
been
it's an
covered by
unleashing
creating an
powers?
opportunity for your allies.
Okay.
So it's unleashing powers, or
Well, so you what? So
It's either directly engage or unleashing my powers.
so now we know what you're doing. Are you just like slithering towards him in the intent of wrapping him up?
She's gonna catch him with the tip of her tail, and then coil him completely.
All right. So you move towards him to be able to reach.
Yes.
And as you do so, you get intercepted by the kangaroo. Like it
Oh,
jumps.
that's
it
a fucking kangaroo.
jumps in your path,
Yes.
and then it like does like a couple of quick jabs and like raises its arms in a guard and just like starts bobbing back and forth and like.
there was both a bear and a kangaroo with boxing gloves on.
I wish
Seriously?
to intercept the kangaroo.
Okay. Yeah, so when Moira finds her path obstructed by the boxing kangaroo, Entry, you wanna do something. What do you wanna do?
I think we see Entry pop into view next to the kangaroo with his trusty baseball bat,
Yes.
all charged up, and then just swinging for a home run.
All right, I'm into it. Roll to directly engage.
That's so good. I love
I
that.
mean, poor kangaroo. The way I've described the bat, it multiplies
What?
the power put into it by 100 times.
Sure.
Why do I have this in my head right now? I'm seeing the Marx Brothers, and I'm hearing the classical sound. You know, the music one.
Entry of the champions.
Yes! Exactly.
Nice.
That is in fact totally playing in this scene.
Yes, of course.
If any case, just because Entry put it on.
Yeah. So you pick one.
I would like to
He
create
realized
an
it was a
opportunity
circus
for
and
my
put it
ally.
on, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's totally
Oh,
what you're
fun.
doing, right? You're opening this guy up before he can like recover. You're getting the kangaroo out of the way so Moira can get at him. Let's see.
Yes, and I should note that this bat makes the bat sound from Super Smash Brothers.
Of course it does. So you go to like take it, like you pop in and you take a swing at it, and you swing just a side swipe, and it just dips under it, and then comes back up again. It heads goes down, it comes back up, and it turns to you and it just like clocks you in the face just once, 1 2, 1 2 hook. It's like starts like punching you back, and it becomes just like swinging at it while it's punching you and just moving forward. And then it jumps to like land a kick on you, and you just bring the bat down, and it just like slams into the ground. You knock the kangaroo like firmly down. So you've given it a hit. It's currently knocked down. It's not out. It might pick itself back up, but you definitely gave it a firm hit.
That is an impressive kangaroo.
The roo.
Does he also take a powerful blow then?
He does take a powerful blow indeed.
Yeah, I figured I would. So with that, I roll with conditions, right?
Yes, mark roll plus your current conditions.
You can do it.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, you
Right, I
fucking-
want that one to be
of-
low. That's true.
Double six.
You want that
So-
one. You want that one to miss, but you didn't.
That's gotta hurt.
So
Yeah.
choose one from the top list.
Let's find it.
That's
Thunder
Take a
moves
part.
one.
Lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way. Pick 2 options from 7 to 9, or you must remove yourself from the situation, fleeing, passing out, whatever.
Yeah, I think he, smashes the kangaroo and then stands up, probably a little too fast, and just goes, "That'll teach you," as he falls backwards and passes.
I got you.
like a
Brilliant.
little like swelling up of your eye, like
Yes, black eye.
Brilliant.
totally. Okay, I love it.
But that should leave the road open though for Moira.
It
right?
does. The thing that Entry chose from his list was to provide an opportunity for an ally.
Yes.
So this happens, like, this is not something where Moira is kept at bay by the kangaroo for long enough that the guy can recover or anything. Like, the kangaroo jumps in front, and then Entry is upon it, and it's forced out of the way, and Moira can just slither around and get at the guy. So Moira, what do you want to do? You want to like wrap him up and grab him? As you move to do that, he like pulls out a cattle prod and like reaches for a cattle prod as you try and get to him. Would you please give me a roll to directly engage?
I do the thing.
Well done.
Ding, ding, ding. Let's do this thing.
All right, good job. So you do the thing. You can pick one choice from the list. So you exchange blows with this guy, and you get to pick one from the list. You can resist or avoid his blows, take something from him, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten him.
I mean, I guess you're taking mobility away from him, right?
His freedom away from him.
Yeah, you
By
wrap him up.
completely coiling him up
Totally. So
and covering his mouth with the tip of her tail. Like, shut up, man.
I like that.
so you do you do get winged in the process. So he like this cattle prod he turns on. Like, if it had just been a cattle prod, it would have been like a hard sap and that's it. But we can see it like in the comic book that it has this globoid sphere of electricity around the tip. Like, it's clearly like a significant charge it carries. So when you go in for him the first time, he like strikes you with it. Please roll to take a powerful blow for me.
Too bad he didn't do it while he was entangled, so the current could pass through him as well.
Okay.
All right, there's an 8. So pick one from the list. Either lash out verbally and provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. Like, trash talk your team, basically. Or give ground, so your opposition gets an opportunity. Or struggle past the pain by marking 2 conditions.
He struggles past the pain.
And then you wrap him up.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Because then I have taken a condition because of someone, and I get a +1 against him because I'm fucking angry at him.
Damn right.
Nice.
So he saps you, and I think maybe like the initial sap definitely like stiffens your muscles. Everything sucks. For a second, it seems like you're going down, and then because he thinks you're going down because he just saps you with this like hella like powerful sapping device, he steps forward and we see him like step over your tail and just wraps around his legs like, I'm not down, motherfucker. And suddenly he's just tied up.
I know exactly why I marked these 2. I marked angry because he fucking prodded me with that kettle thing. I'm not a fucking, animal.
Mm-hmm.
So she wraps him, and she does it a little too harshly, so she kind of squeezes him, and that makes her a little guilty because she's so strong and she should really stop squeezing people that hard.
Right.
Even when she's angry.
He definitely gives like a cry where it's like, ah, and like gives a bellow in pain and discomfort as you like wrap him up. And yeah, he looks at you when you're like holding him there, and he
can't talk because she distinctively covered his mouth with the tip of her tail because shut up.
Cool. All right, so
and it was the move called coming for you. When you mark a condition, take +1 forward against the person you blame them most for causing it.
Good stuff. So in this the remainder of this encounter with this nerd, you will get +1 forward with him.
Yep.
Good stuff. So next roll you take +1. So there is still a bear on there's a bear on a bicycle like zipping around the lobby. What do you do?
Okay, so Rican will sit up from being close and and just lift his like hand crossbow and try to shoot like a net bolt. No, he'll actually he'll basically try to put not a net bolt. He'll try to put a wedge in the unicycle.
That's so good. Yes.
Send it toppling. Great.
Totally do that. Please roll to unleash your powers.
Petty payback.
Either that or directly engage. Directly engage is also appropriate. I'm gonna call it directly engage because it's coming for you, right? So if you miss the shot, then
you're gonna get clotheslined again. Doink. There you go.
All right, good stuff. So pick one from the list.
Wait, can I assist?
Yeah, you can. How do you see yourself assisting?
I see myself assisting by when the bear is coming towards him. I mean, I'm now holding the whip, right?
Yeah.
So when the bear comes towards him, I will crack the whip to get the bear's attention.
Oh yeah, like you crack it, its head turns sideways.
and it turns its head, and then he gets a chance to do something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That does cost us our last team, though. But
Over here, Bobo. Right?
yes, exactly. Yes, I have to agree. I have to agree with you there, Thalmid. This is the silliest situation we've ever been in, but it's
But
fun.
we are the Misfits.
Yes, we are. I imagine this is not the last silly situation we're going to be in with a name like that.
I hope not.
I'm having a blast.
I hope it'll last. We like silly situations.
Yes, we do.
We like putting ourselves into them.
Yeah, so after the direct DNA is on plus, so it's I'll take something from them, their unicycle obviously, and their mobility.
Right, now it's a bear on a 2-2, not a bear in a 2-2 on a rocket-powered bicycle.
Yes.
And and I will resist and avoid the blows by rolling out of the way by stumbling.
Sure. So you do the thing, it turns its head. Suddenly, like a bolt wedges itself in the spokes of its cycle. The bicycle flips over. The bear, like, we get a panel of the bear like sailing over your head. It's just like woo, and then it like lands and rolls and comes to a stop at the foot of
I
Moira.
can just see it land going over his head with this horrified expression on its face and its tongue lolling out one side and a few drops of spittle like
Exactly right. Its eyes are like big and round and no pupils in them. Right? It's like
yes. Oh, tell me it's also got a little, one of those little cone hats on top of its head.
yes. No, I'll raise
Best
you.
bear ever.
I'll see your cone hat and I'll raise you a flowery bonnet.
Oh yes. Oh, this is horrible.
All right, so
There we go. That's
So
the
the-
music going in the background.
so the thing rolls and falls, and like gives a berry bellow like "Rrr," as they do, and like so it like picks itself up and adjusts its tutu.
Of course.
Aw.
Um,
Oh my god,
Man-
adjusting its tutu.
Vanguard, what are you doing?
Laying on the ground in shame.
Aw.
Try to comfort and support the bear.
It took you down and you stayed down. It's like no, I don't.
Yeah,
I can't
he just,
get up
like-
from this.
Laying on his back like the Vitruvian Man style, just arms and legs out, just like
Yes.
where did everything go wrong?
What
They
did
took
I do?
Monica and left and
This?
everything went wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh my
Alright.
god.
Yeah,
I used
like-
to be in the Defenders. I never got into silly
Yeah,
situations
well,
like that. What happened?
Yeah. If he actually mutters the to himself, then Rickon will go like, you should have kissed them when you
Yeah.
when you could
Yeah.
have, like maybe they would stay this way.
if you liked it, you should have put a ring on it.
Lol.
And he helps him.
Okay, so yeah, Bear got up, adjusted its tutu.
Yep.
I think Vanguard just like mutters that to himself, then looks up, like props himself up. He has a little like bolt launcher on his wrist, and he fires off like a little electric dart to hit the bear and shock it and knock it out.
I can see that. Yeah. All right. Give us the
It's a
roll.
stun arrow.
You're directly engaging.
Whew, that was close.
All right.
Hey, it works.
So you do the thing. Pick one from the list. So this will not take the bear out fully, but you will definitely like prevent it from doing what it was gonna do, which is gonna be like trying to go for Moira.
Mara is holding daddy.
Actually, you tell me like how powerful of an electric shock is this? Is this an electric shock that could take out a brown bear?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I'm not averse to the idea of you taking it out in that case.
I guess. It'd just be take his consciousness.
This is normally not something we condone, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes. No animals were hurt in the process of creating this comic. However, I'm still going to give you a link to the look on the bear's face.
But when it shocks it, can the bear's hair just please be like sticking up and poofed out after
Yes.
the discharge?
That is
Okay.
absolutely a thing that can be.
We totally see the instant it impacts. We see its skeleton, like we always do
Right.
whenever they are
Right.
shocked. And then after, it's just completely black with fur going everywhere, and it topples over.
Yep.
Yes.
This is a real thing.
This is hilarious.
So-
This is just the thing of beauty, guys.
So
The bear has been roofied very hard.
So this happens. However, by extension, you do not avoid its blows.
Right.
Oh, it lands on him.
I imagine.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Yes. You do the thing. It's like it's moving past you, and you reach up, you fire the thing, you shock it, and it like turns. It just flips on its toe like a pretty ballerina, like a little figurine in a music box. It just turns on its toe, and just gravity takes over, and it falls on top of you.
And you get a badass to the face.
Oh,
Oh, we now have Vanguard's new girlfriend.
Take
God. We have I think like comic wise, once they get the bear off me, it's the spirally eyes and expression on Kenshin from Kenshin.
take a powerful blow for me.
Yep.
We shouldn't have been called the Misfits. We should have been called the Comic Reliefs.
You're right. Here we go.
Look, a villain.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Look, it is said that villains make heroes. Okay, I'm just. You didn't sign up for this, but it happened.
Oh my god, you poor thing!
So, yeah, what happens there?
Yeah, spirally eyes, goofy expression on my face. I'm knocked out.
Oh my god! There were 2 people knocked out for the fight.
I reckon it's just face palming next. That's why we agreed that crossbows are my thing.
Oh my god.
So we cut to you, Moira. We get like a panel of you, like you're holding this guy. We have like the back of your head in the side foreground, and him with your tail over his mouth in like the other side for middle ground. And he's like, we get there's a little speech bubble from his head. This is going like, there's like a lot of M's and H's in it. He seems to want to tell you something.
She removes her tail tip for a moment while she looks completely. She looks at the scene unfolding in front of her with complete resignation in her face. What?
Thank you. So, might I ask, since this is not particularly snug fit, who among you prevented the dispensers from going off on my men?
The what now?
Have a look. You see that thing down there? And he like nods to one of the fallen people.
Yeah, what about it?
You see that thing on his neck?
Yeah.
I'm pressing a button really hard right now and nothing is happening.
Oh. Well, you should stop pressing it then.
I can't. There's not much else for me to do, I'm afraid. He says
Oh.
he's like squirming in your grip. You get like
She
Like that.
tightens her grip because
You
he
could
starts
al-
squirming.
You could always pass out, and surrender. It's an
well,
option,
I suppose. Look, the fantastic twins over there, the acrobat, the 2 crack shots, and you, he says, looking at Moira, like you, this lovely young carnival freak. You would make excellent you would make excellent circus people. Why?
Did
Why
you
don't
just
you
call
say-
me a carnival freak?
Yes, he did.
She tightens her tail even more and then gets the tail slapped over his face again.
Yeah, he's definitely telling you who you are, right? He's being incredibly
And that is
rude.
why she's angry.
Yeah. So here's the dealio. When he says this to you, he's an adult. He has influence over you. He is going to affect how you see yourself. Do you want to accept his influence over you?
Hell no. Who's got who's in whose mercy here?
All right.
Do that.
Is that a blanket thing or just towards Moira?
That is towards Moira, right? He's talking about all of you like from a point of appreciating your talents, right? A couple of like great archers would make for a great show in a circus. A couple of like in his mind twin acrobats would make for great artists in the circus, and certainly Moira would. The young guy with
she's
the
a
blue
freak.
hair is exactly.
And she doesn't have blue hair, it's platinum blonde with a little pink.
Yeah, I was gonna mention like the guy with the blue hair doesn't matter, but he's out and he doesn't see him. But yeah, you wanna like not accept his influence over you. I can relate to that. I wouldn't want that either.
She does not like him, so she will completely say nope, not accepting it.
Let's see. So when you wanna reject someone's influence, please roll and just roll with no modifier.
What?
Roll with no modifier.
So flat 2d6.
Yep.
Do I want a hit on this or not?
You want to hit on this. If you miss this, you are affected. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you stop talking or I pop your head off, that looks like.
Right. Like, fuck this guy. Like, who does he think he is?
You know what, mister? If I were just one of your circus artists, I wouldn't be able to do this to you.
Hit the pause button. You get two choices here. If you want to see what your choices are, open your moves part 2, which is this.
I have it.
All right. So you get to pick from the list here. You get to pick two, and then you get to say and do what it is you're planning to do.
Reject someone's influences.
Yes.
On a 10 plus, choose 2. Ooh.
So you can clear a conditional mark potential by immediately proving him wrong, right? You act to prove that you're not a carnival freak. You can choose what label you want to shift up or down, and you can cancel his influence and take +1 forward against him.
Well, I already have +1, so it's actually a 13.
That's true, but won't make
That's
much
true.
difference.
You know what?
But that is gone now. So if you do this, you get +1 again.
I'm gonna mark a potential by immediately acting to prove him wrong,
Okay.
and I'm gonna clear a condition.
Okay, I wanna know what you do to like what do you do to prove him wrong, right? When he calls you a circus freak.
Question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we do that, since it says clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong, and you can choose 2, can you pick the same one twice? Because it's the same move. It's just you choose between 2 things in the same move.
I don't believe you can, no.
Aww.
I'm sorry, but you know, it's what we usually say. Rules lawyering has to go both ways.
I hear you, and I appreciate you asking. But no, you pick 2 options from the list, not the same option twice. But yeah, what do you do? What's the thing you do when he calls you a circus freak? He like, you get the sense based on his language, right? He's definitely being like derogatory towards you, and he's definitely calling you out, but he's doing it in that like haha ain't I a stinker kind of way.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna cancel his influence and take +1 forward against him.
Cool. So he no longer has influence over you, and you take +1 on your next roll against him. But what do you do to prove him wrong?
She's gonna just say that, well, I'm way better than a circus freak. I caught you, didn't I?
Yeah. So you
Basically, she's too good for his circus.
I see you saying that, but what do you do?
Squeezes him tighter and shuts him up with a tail.
Interesting. So let's talk about that. Let's unpack that. So when he accuses you of being a scary monster, right? Like that's ostensibly what he's doing. He's calling you a freak.
Yeah.
I don't think you're disproving his point by like squeezing him with your monstrous snake tail, and you're proving his point.
She's saying she's better than it.
Yeah,
Him.
that doesn't really like matter. Where you like you can't talk your way typically out of like disproving. It is about what you do. It's about taking action. It's not about talking.
Then I don't know.
All right. So does anyone like? We can crowdsource this, or you can ask people if they have any suggestions.
I would suggest, in this case, gesturing for for the police to come and pick him up, because quite frankly, if she was just a circus freak, she would not actually be acting. She would not actually be a hero, which is what she is by handing him over to the law.
That's a great one, right? That's I would take that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to suggest. Be merciful and just give him over to the cop.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Does that sound like something?
I was going to say put him down and just knock him out with your human part. Whoop.
No, because that isn't as strong as the tail is.
Yeah, that's a great way of also doing the thing. But yeah, let me just check to make sure here. Yeah, I just confirmed. If you take if you clear a conditional mark potential, you have to immediately act to prove them wrong. That means taking action that directly opposes what they've said. It's not just enough to tell them they're wrong. You have to act. All right.
Well, she turns him over to the police then.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, "Oh, no, scary monster lady, you don't fit in anywhere." And then you're like, "Let me just like hand you over to the lawful to the lawful authorities, as a good citizen." Totally. I'm hella into that. So did you clear a condition?
No, because I couldn't do both.
Okay, so you mark potential instead?
Yep.
Alright, awesome. So, yeah, we see you like, he looks at you with this like, do you see what I did there? And, I mean, it's I think based on your description, right, it's not that he doesn't affect you, it is that you get affected and then you turn out to be better than that, right? You're like, no, and fuck your opinion. And yeah, we see you like slither out of there, and we see like a bunch of police officers. We get like a panel. There's some citizens like looking and pointing. There's some police officers looking surprised and kind of like taken aback by the snake lady. And then like you just handing him over like to the police. What do you say when you slither out there and like present the ringmaster to the cops?
To them or him?
Like to both? Like do you have a line? Is there a speech bubble from you? Are you like, take him away, boys, or something like?
Here, doing your job again.
Awesome. So yeah, they take him from out your grip and like slap a couple of cuffs on him.
And she takes that button thingy. He was squeezing way too hard. They're gonna cuff him anyway.
Yeah, totally. Like no problem at all. You extract that thing from him. The police officer who was on the bullhorn earlier, who like kind of spat fire on you for doing this in a hostage situation, looks at you with like a mixture of disapproval and like being impressed at the same time, right? He's like, that like, I don't know about you teenage heroes doing this thing kind of look. But then like nods and says, appreciate it. Yeah, so what happens inside in the meantime?
Yeah, I think at this point, Yoon will go over to the two knocked out individuals and try to get them. Well, I'm unless of course, Recon, you might be doing the same thing. Then we can take one each and try to get them right side up again.
Yeah, Recon probably like would just be like this, like he would like do this thing, like he goes the Vanguard just tries to get to him first. It's like okay, I got this here.
No problem.
And then but he's also like, while he's still knocked out, like extends hand to Yoon, and is like, oh, you did well. You did really well today. I'm impressed.
Thank you. So did you. So did you. She looks at the hand with a little bit of confusion, and then she bows instead.
I don't know what you're doing, but okay.
The
Bow.
open hand just turns into a thumbs up, like, yeah.
She very hesitantly, as in, oh, so that's what you do, and then she gives you a thumbs up as well. But it's kind of, it's not hesitant as in she doesn't want to. She has to figure out, oh, okay, and then you get a thumbs up as well.
He's like, okay, yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
She doesn't know stuff like that.
Like, he's like, how long has you been living here? It's like, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Not that long since you asked.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, let's
get them.
let's pick up those scrubs and
Yes.
yeah, but we did well. Like, he takes Vanguard on his
Of course.
on the piggyback.
Yes, and
Not
I think she
not piggyback. The other
she
one.
goes over to Entry and kneels down next to him, lifts his head off the floor, carefully, using her forearm basically to cradle his head on, and then gently pats his cheeks with this. Okay, come back around. All right, you've been resting long enough.
Am I in heaven? Is that an angel looking down on me?
Oh,
Yeah, he's all right, and then she just puts his head back down on the floor carefully. Again,
Oh, I thought you were just
get a
going to
concussion.
he's fine,
Doesn't-
flump.
Doesn't want to give him a concussion or anything. He's like,
You're not-
"Yep, you're fine. I'm not gonna carry you. Let's go."
You're not taken
Right.
up by his sweet talking.
Yeah,
Nope.
Recon is going towards Moira. It's like when he catches up to her. It's like, hey, Moira, wait. Moira. Moira.
Yeah, what?
Hey, come here.
Just let those back.
And since
What?
Vanguard is still unconscious, he puppets him. You did really well. and then he puts his hands down, and he's like getting like more serious tone. It's like extends a hand to high five. It's like yeah, but you're still really well.
So,
Did I get the kangaroo?
You're still sleeping.
This does look like a kangaroo with like little spirals in its eyes and like a big bump on its head.
Who's the king of the jungle now?
I
The
see.
lion.
She says that as as he says that, and she's still close. Yoon is still close. She looks back over her shoulder at him and says, "I think the correct term would be who's king of the outback. That is a kangaroo, not a lion."
Yeah, I'll take you out back if you try anything again. He says to the kangaroo.
Okay. The real question in this here does Moira leave Recon hanging?
I think she lifts a brow when he does the puppet routine
Okay.
with Vanguard.
Yeah.
And then, ponders for a moment when he does the motion for the high five. Like,
Yeah.
seriously pondering, do I even want to conform to this shit? And then she, does the, yay, and then gives him a hand. High five.
Yeah. Does this count as triumphant celebration?
No, in fact, it's explicitly called out that a triumphant celebration is not just a high five after a fight.
Oh,
That is, in fact, literally the words in the book.
Ooh.
It is so
Ooh.
to call it out to you here, like it's something like it's like when you're like the idea is you get excited, you're happy, you're inviting someone to share in your happiness and joy in the moment. It could be a meaningful hug, a kiss, a congratulatory set of compliments, or a shared party or drinks.
There was a set of compliments from him.
There was. That's true. You know what? I'll take it. Sure. Let's roll with it.
And does it count for my team move since the
Yeah.
because one of us has not to be present, and I specifically said that I'm not waking up Vanguard.
Yep. I saw you setting it up when you were like, I'm not waking up Vanguard. I saw you angling. Yes.
Yeah.
Vanguard is KO'd.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll take that.
So I have to mark a condition to mark it. Ay. He's totally insecure. And he won't. Yeah, and then he wakes up Vanguard.
Alright.
He's like still keeping him on his back, but like slapping him on the face, like, hey, wakey.
So you come to.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, put me down.
Who's this writing all this stuff?
That is probably.
I'm gonna blame the
Rasmus.
delinquent.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, AJ. You're completely correct. I blame the delinquent.
No, I'm certain that whatever's been written there is both it's objective and true and has nothing to do with me. I'm sure whoever wrote it is very wise and intelligent.
If you're such a hunk, why don't you ask Moira out on a date?
Are you provoking?
I don't think the text is hovering about
No.
the character.
Exactly.
All right. So you all like come to, you wake up. Yeah, like do you have like some post-fight words to exchange with one another? Because you did it. I don't feel like you. I mean, you tell me, but I don't feel like this group has like had that long of a career as a team. So this is probably
Right.
not an
I
insignificant
think
victory.
I think actually Yun is going to go over to Vanguard specifically, and
his ride.
well, yeah, but he did come back around, didn't he?
Yeah,
Sounded it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want me to put him down to have a private one, yeah, he.
Yeah. She
probably
looks.
sits him down somewhere.
She looks at him and you know, gives him a little bow as well and says, it was an honor to fight with a hero like yourself. Basically, what she wants to do is, again, she wants to share a moment of triumph as well.
Yeah. Do you extend that like gesture to everyone?
No, it's with someone. So it's specifically with this one person.
All right. Yeah, I'll take it.
So
What do you say in response there, mate?
So yeah, Vanguard kind of pauses for a moment, then he bows deeper.
Obviously,
says
this
no.
is-
Don't hit the floor.
Yeah, it says you did an amazing.
I'm flattered by your words. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This was our first real coordinated fight. She says it looks a little weird when she says the word coordinated because they've just fought a circus Spikestellmeister, but still,
Right.
she says this was our first fight where we went into this as a team. And that makes me we did well, and that makes me look to the future with hope. But what gives you hope for the future?
He kind of ponders for a second. I guess we do. People like us.
Yes.
Because if we weren't around, or any of the other supers in town weren't around, people could have gotten hurt or worse.
This is why Heroes are important. She looks like she's clearly taking this to heart as a lesson.
Awesome.
Also, this means you just got influence over me, and since you already have it, then
Yep.
Adjust labels.
adjust labels.
What do you feel is the... Do you want to adjust the labels based on like what you said in response, or do you want to say something else that otherwise adjusts the labels?
No. What he said affects her to where I think her savior goes up and danger goes down.
All right.
Oh, you
But
invoke the savior in her.
The savior.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Recon.
Excellent. Well done.
But as she says that, Vanguard kind of like looks sideways at Recon, kind of looks back to Trespass. It's like, honestly, though, if I still had my powers, this would have been a lot easier. Sometimes
Yes. No,
I
please.
don't even know if I should be out here.
She looks up at him with a very definite expression on her face, and you know, even though her eyes are just these milky white orbs, there's just something about the way she sets her face. She pulls, you know, she's pulled down the mask from in front of her face. She says, "It is not the powers that defines the hero. It is his actions."
Oh.
He kind
It's a
of he
love
smiles, smiles and puts you on his shoulder. He's like, "Thanks, Yun." So Daniel, that was when I share a vulnerability or weakness with someone. Ask them to confirm or deny that I should. If they confirm, I mark potential and give them influence over.
Yep, I totally see that. I also saw another move being pulled. So let's resolve this first.
Okay.
I think Joan confirmed that you should be here.
Yep.
I say Joan, but I mean Trespass.
Yes.
Give Trespass influence. Does Trespass already have influence?
I think so. Do you have influence over me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
What
Let's take a
labels
look
do you
at-
feel like you're adjusting?
Let's have a look at his character sheet here, and say, I think your freak goes. No, not your freak. Sorry, your danger goes up because hey, you are still capable hero,
Mm-hmm.
and I think your mundane goes down
Cool.
because you are not just an ordinary bloke.
Excellent. I also thought I heard you comforting and supporting Vanguard.
Yes, I think there's a reasonably good chance that I just did actually.
Yep.
Let me try that. Comfort and support. Oh, that's a hit.
Nice.
I'm gonna take potential for that. You can do that with comfort and support.
That is correct. On on a hit, they hear you. Mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels.
Yes.
If they open up to you, do you reckon like I hear like there was definitely an opening up here, but
Right.
when Trespass like gets vulnerable with you, right, and like comforts you in this moment, what do you say? Like what do you say to open up to this if that's what you do?
I definitely think he does. Says thank you. Sometimes it doesn't seem like much, but hearing you say think that I do, I appreciate it.
She just smiles again and says, "Just remember, I have no powers either." And we're still
Yeah, but you've been
and we're
trained
s-
for your life.
You're being awesome. All right.
So
cool.
yes,
So I think we see like while this is happening, like we have maybe
I
like
think
one or
we are
two
late
panels
for
to do this.
I think she will end that by saying, "I think we have to move quickly, or we will be late for school."
So I wanna.
I wish to interject on that note, if I may.
Yes, of
You
course.
may.
I think at that point, Entry comes over and puts an arm around, Vanguard and Trespass shoulders and says, "Hey, I'm going to McReynolds. Who's with me?"
McReynolds, I love that.
So I wanna interject something here when you say that. Like throughout this conversation, like in the series panel, we've seen policemen file into the room slowly and steadily, right? Like just in the background happening. And when you say this, Mr. Delinquent Entry, sir, Mr. Tech, I think a police officer is like picking up a bank robber from the ground, like handcuffing them, they're unconscious, picking them up and then like wondering aloud, what is this? And then like starts tinkering with a metal neckband on them.
Oh, let me.
What do you do?
I teleport over there. Poof, let me.
Sure.
Then I wish to figure out what the thing is.
Okay.
And if I can, I want to take the vial with stuff so I can analyze it later.
You can definitely take the vial with stuff. Let me just see here. When you are closely studying this thing.
Could you call that a way of assessing the situation?
You could, but there are not many of the questions that really fit. What is it that you would... When you inspect it, what is it that you hope to, like, get? What is it you want to do? Just looking at it, I can tell you what it looks like, but...
I do have criminal mind, so I could ask what here is useful or valuable to me.
You could. I will tell you one thing. Just looking at
Tell
this
me
thing.
one thing.
This thing looks familiar to you.
In what way?
Daddy made it.
To find out, I'm going to have to insist you make me a roll.
Woohoo!
Is this the situation?
Yeah. Or using your other ability, I will also accept. I believe do those work in tandem?
Yeah, it's basically I get to ask more questions when I assess the situation.
All right. Yeah, you may assess the situation.
Go,
So,
Entry!
all right, I get a 9.
All right. Well done. So you may ask me one question and get +1 on the answer. So if none of the questions you see are like perfectly the thing you're looking for, you can ask me the thing you're looking for, and we can work it so that the angle is appropriate to the assessment. What would you like to ask?
I think the question that makes most sense is what here is most valuable or useful to me, but
Yeah.
Again...
I see you. I see you. The thing that is most useful / valuable to you here is the knowledge of like why is this thing like familiar to you.
Yes.
This thing is some kind of bastardization of one of your father's projects.
Aww.
This thing is this is like, it's a remote controlled injector. This is obvious to you. Anyone could
Yes.
see this.
Obviously.
Yeah. But it is also the receiver of it has like the same like patterns of a neural amplifier your dad was working on to help people with a deficiency in their limbs.
Mhm.
It has
Yeah.
something like that. But it's been tampered with, and you're not exactly sure to what end.
Do I see an easy way of getting it off?
Yeah, sure. You could get it off since you rolled a success.
In that case, I think Andrew will take it off and look to the others and say, you might have to go on without me. I have some things to check out. And
Pardon?
contrary to normal, he no longer looks. It has the same, everything is amusing expression. He looks quite serious.
Yeah, when you like fidget with it, you like it does a click and you take it off. At that moment, a hand comes down on your shoulder, and you look up at the police officer in his blue uniform, looking at you, saying, "Pardon me, young man, that there is evidence."
Entry looks at him and looks like he's about to answer, and then I want to teleport away.
Yeah, obviously. Sure.
Poof.
Not
You
even
see
gonna
it?
bother us, like trying to convince
No,
him.
not really.
Yeah. Okay. I will. I will. You know what? I
You
will.
should
I will.
totally move over to the others, take those two,
I
so
will
they
take
have
a roll.
none.
I will see your roll to unleash your
Ooh.
powers. I was deliberating just letting you do it, but I can think of something fun to happen if you fail.
Right. I really need my freak to go up.
You need your freak on.
Always get your freak on.
Haha.
There it is.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So
Bam.
It's in serious mode now.
he has a hand on your shoulder. He's looking at you. He has like a World War I mustache, right? He's like the like prime ultimate. I am a police officer. Look, and just like poof, and then you're gone. He like looks down at this like empty space where he like touched you before, and he looks over to the rest of you, and then he looks down again, and he looks as if he's about to like accuse you, like hey, do something about that, right? He's with you, but then like clearly in his mind he realizes that he doesn't really have any way of knowing or proving that, so he just like swears to himself. He's like, young boisterous thinks they know everything. Yeah, like starts hauling the person off. The rest of you, eventually, when you make to leave this place, do you walk out?
No, I slither out.
Yeah, you slither out. Okay. So when you leave the building, there is like a crowd of people assembled behind the police barrier, and they're like whistling and like clapping and cheering, like woo, yeah, we don't know who you are, but woo, woo, yeah, super, and like there's like flashes from like phone cameras, when you get out of there. So where do you go in this moment? The cops don't seem like they're in arrest the vigilante interlopers mood.
And even though Moira doesn't want the attention, she realizes how futile it would be to cover her face.
Yeah, people are there. Like I have this like sensation that if we could see this from Moira's angle specific, maybe we can. Maybe there's a panel devoted to that. Like maybe you like having many eyes on you and many fingers pointing at you feels differently than it does to other people.
I think the others walk out with a crowd of people applauding, and they look like they're very close to them. But from Moira's perspective, it feels like she's completely alone in the middle of a lot of people looking at her.
Yeah, an inordinate amount of cameras are being pointed at you.
Would it be possible at this point for Yun to have, because it's taken a little while, obviously, so for her to have ducked in somewhere and quickly changed back to her civilian clothes, and then...
Oh, this is for you when you leave the building, right? Like...
Oh, right. That's right when we leave the building. Okay.
Yeah. Then it's just like the reception of the crowd that has gathered to cheer on the heroes, this emblem of Halcyon. Like, you're a bunch of youngsters, and you did the thing with minimum damage, I say, and we like very deliberately we see like a car embedded in the side of the building from when Moira threw it earlier.
She didn't throw it.
you-
She used her tail as a bat.
You slapped it sideways. There's still half of a person vehicle sticking out of a building. But it's so with
Moira looks
relatively
at it
speaking
with a
minimal
smirk.
damage.
Moira looks at it with a smirk.
So yeah, good job. People are jazzed about this. So yeah, do you just get out of there? What do you do? Is one of you
Leave,
like
hurry away.
Yep.
all right? So you GTFO and
Yeah.
people
Yeah, I would
like
say
looking after you.
since oh sorry,
Go on.
I would say since Recon like kind of ducked out when they were still talking, when they were like still talking inside and doing the caller thing, when he left Vanguard for to talk with Trespass, he would probably duck out early from there.
Okay.
Just and he would if he can dodge the crowd, he would probably stand somewhere like pull out his hoodie and just compact his crossbow and just stay somewhere behind the crowd, just waiting for the rest to just go out.
You have the behavior of the proverbial red arrow in this situation.
Yeah. He is like, he's so over being like, he had enough in his previous incarnation to being, he wants others to get fame.
That's really sweet of you in some way.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you get out of there, and we have like a wide panel of you getting away, like Moira maybe like scaling a building, Yun like leaping over a rooftop, the two of you like ziplining. Do we? Oh, I see you there. I see you in chat there, Moira. Do you have like? Do you want to like turn to someone in particular and like talk to them about what happened?
Well, the thing for her is if they treat her as a person or not.
Yeah. Let me have a look.
I would say he's the Recon treated you as a person. Well, he complimented you and high-fived you and stuff.
Well, so yeah, that's the question. So what does it look like? So in order to trigger the team move at all, the question becomes, what do you do to trigger it? What is your triumphant celebration with someone to like be like excited about what you just did?
I don't know.
All right. Well, in that case, like if you get an idea for like what you would do, what Moira would do to be like, yeah, we did the thing, woo, throws hat. Then you could just poke
She would
me.
never throw her hat.
No, but you know what I'm saying, right? Then
It's her business hat.
if you know what that is, then by all means you can do it, and then the move will trigger. But the move doesn't trigger just because we say we want to. Like it follows the fiction.
Yep.
So
Does not do a snake dance. She wants to be treated as a person, not a snake.
of course.
Also, she doesn't like being in public, so she's probably leaving this place as fast as she can.
Defo. So we get the panel of the four of you like leaving, and it's of course like it's made like this dynamic painting, right? It's dynamically drawn. It has the kind of like the same vibe that you would have a panel of Spider-Man swinging away from a cheering crowd. That kind of like vibe to it. However,
Ha!
it's not.
I just got it. She's scaling the building.
Oh no! Stop. Lose 10 potential.
Hey, shut up! You're stupid.
But however, this picture is not the last picture on the page. The last picture on this page is like a flat but wide panel of the entry arriving wherever he teleported to. Where did you go when you dodged the cop with this piece of tech?
I think he's going to take a few jumps, but he wants to teleport back to the garage.
Cool.
He
So we
inherited
just
after his
see you
father.
appear in the garage.
Yes. And then he goes to, something where he can check out the modifications, what's in the vial. He looks...
Describe your garage.
So I call it a garage. It's probably the size of a house.
It's a thing that's supposed to hold like 4 cars.
It's actually the lab, but they call it the garage. So it's filled with bibs and bobs, and it looks like someone once had quite good order, everything in its place, and now it kind of looks like someone's been there who didn't care that much for order and who has a tendency to let fast food containers stay there a little too long.
Someone
God damn
threw a
it,
hand
Entry.
grenade in there.
Basically.
That's someone being entry.
No.
Totally him because grandma is not allowed in there.
Exactly. Also, it's a good place to hide out when you're skipping school.
Yeah.
True, because grandma's not allowed in there.
So when we see you in this technologically sufficient, very interesting looking garage, what do you do when you appear?
I think he paces at first, looking at the thing and asking himself, "What did they do?" And then he goes to a machine, pops a handle to get the vial off without destroying it, and then puts it in another machine that starts analyzing it.
Right, you put it in a comic spectrometer. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we see the analysis screen appear. I'll totally have you roll to decrypt this thing. Let's see if you can figure out what this is. You can brain it. I will.
Don't use brain for it. That's just evil.
Use assess the situation. If you do the thing, you can ask me questions about it. Right? You can learn something about this thing. If you fail, you can still learn something, but what it is will be worse. Yes. All right. So you may ask me questions about this tech that you're analyzing. This is not just like the fluid thing. This is you analyzing the whole shebang.
Okay, so on a 10, I can ask 2, right?
I think so. Let me see.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
What here's the greatest danger?
The greatest danger here. That's a great question. So, and what's your other question? I guess you don't have to ask your other question right now. So the thing is, you analyze the thing, and initially you find that these the chemical is some kind of weird compound. It doesn't match any description of anything you know. It's not an officially registered like formula, but it has some very like your simulation speculates that it has some very like sudden and very like violent reactions with human genes. It also has traces of animal DNA in it, and your simulation like. We see like maybe like a simulation, like a projected hollow image of a person, like the silhouette of a person, turning into like a bear person.
Oh.
And then another simulation of someone turning into like a lizard person. Another simulation of someone turning into a snake person.
In that case...
Oh, the bear was a person! That's why it was so happy about its tutu.
I don't even want to think about that.
However, just to put a clear end, you see this and you're thinking, oh, surely that must be it. But then when you Tony Stark the rest of the thing, you find that the thing that is what was the most dangerous thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The most dangerous thing here is the modified neural thing, neural amplifier.
That my dad invented.
Yes. Whatever has been done with it is totally off the rails and quite creepy. It's invented in like... It has this kind of like brute force feel about it, where it's not like a particular super genius made it, but it's definitely very well made. And it is rather than being like a thing that would stimulate nerve reactions so as to help people who have a problem with that, like do better at like moving limbs after trauma and so on. It is it would be able to like directly interface with and control body movement.
Oh wow! So someone could control these animal-human hybrids.
Yes, exactly.
Right. In that case, I definitely know what my next question is.
What's your next question?
How could I best end this quickly?
The way you...
I assume that means an antidote, but if you have something else in mind, tell.
So the thing, if you want to like research and like how could you make an antidote for this chemical compound or so on, you quickly find out that it's actually not particularly stable. You don't feel like your simulation speculates that it would not remain active for long. It would be like a temporary transition, and it would probably like not be particularly healthy for the person it happened to. but they would eventually return to their human form, albeit with dangers to their health. The thing here that probably draws your attention is that this thing is remote controlled, but not just the trigger for it. The neural manipulator doesn't have a pre-programmed sequence that would control people's movement. It has a receiver that is pretty short range.
I see. In that case...
And you realize based on this that there had to be a transmitter that you missed on the site of the crime.
In that case, building something that can track that transmitter is probably my next course of action.
All right. So we have a caption, I think. Maybe the easiest way to communicate this, you tell me if this is the case. Does your computer talk? Is there captions that says words that we can just like exposit this stuff? Or are you talking to yourself, or do you have thought bubbles?
I think he's talking to himself. I think the computer can talk, but since he's not supposed to be home right now, he's disabled that function.
Of course. So I think when you talk to you, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I just want to point out that we're getting very close to when we have to stop, because Talmud has said that he cannot stay longer tonight.
Yeah, and we will absolutely end momentarily. So
okay, good. No, I just before we lost track of time. That's all.
Thank you for informing me. So when you say that, right, you have the panel of you like talking to yourself. You speculate. Wait, so, but based on this, the transmitter would have to be in relatively close proximity, and the panel underneath shows the ringmaster sitting in the police transport being hauled away, and he's smiling to himself. There's like police officers in the car with him, and other of these like bank robbers, and he's like looking to one of his like fellow criminals, and like reaches forward with his hands like still handcuffed, and like fiddles around with the thing on his neck. And one of the police officers like sees this and is like, "Hey, you, stop that!" And he doesn't. He like keeps fiddling with it. He's like, "I said stop it!" And he like lashes out, and like hits the hat off of the ringmaster's head. And we see that on his brow is this like this plate of like this headband of metal, of this like technologically seeming metal. And then he looks over at the police officers. He flicks something on the neckband of his fellow criminal, and we see the chemical like siphon into the guy's neck. It gets absorbed in, and suddenly like we cut to outside of the police transport, and there's like a scream from within it. And
that's how he makes his animals.
Yeah, and then like that's and we don't see anything more of what happened there.
Cool.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think I was not gonna say this, but I feel like I should actually. So I'm gonna quickly amend one of the things you learned. I'm gonna tell you one more thing you learned. This is pure speculation on your part, but
yes,
because it's a comic book, it's comic book speculation, right?
Often accurate.
Yeah. The thing that have been done to this, to modify this headband, seems to you to have things in common with certain projects that you've scavenged from Graves Tech.
Grr.
So, with that information and with that ending shot of the ringmaster having the transmitter on his forehead and popping the shape-shifting fluid on one of his hirelings. Yeah, we will end this issue with the question of like, will the ringmaster escape? Where will he escape to? What happened here? What was this about? And we will deal out some stuff based on your end of session move. So let's take our end of session move, everyone.
I have a perfect title for this issue, though.
I look
That's
forward
good.
to hearing
I look
it.
forward. Yeah, we also need to come up with a cover, but yeah.
Constrictor, if you please. What's your end of session move?
Trying to find it.
It's on the second
Okay.
page. Moves part 2. Top right paragraph.
Top right.
Yeah.
Sorry, top left. What am I saying?
Oh. Under where it says peripheral moves, the start of session, and then it says end of session.
I is lost.
So did you grow closer to the team? Did you grow into an image of yourself, or did you grow away from the team?
Oh, right. I were looking at the fucking transform book. Like a
Ah.
bloody idiot.
Oh.
And I were looking at end of session moves like an idiot there. Oh my god. I'm so perfect.
So what do you think is the right move?
She grew closer to the team. Oh my god.
All right. So who made you feel welcome?
Recon.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, give influence to Recon. Does Recon already have influence over you?
I don't think
No.
All right, cool. So that's what
Only
that is.
Vanguard has.
Now, clear a condition or mark potential, your choice.
I'm gonna mark potential.
All right. Entry, your move.
I think Entry will grow into himself.
All right. How do you see yourself?
I think the way Entry sees himself is that he is, in fact, not just your normal run-of-the-mill person, and he's a hero. He's responsible for keeping people safe and doing the right thing and figuring out this whole stuff that's clearly a leftover from people abusing what his father made. So I will shift his mundane down.
Savior up.
Yes.
Good job.
Also because he did a good job with the hostages, even
Absolutely.
if nobody capitalized on it.
I completely agree. Yeah, trespass. Your end of session move.
She certainly grew closer to the team.
Yeah, who made you feel welcome?
Well, 3 of them did, but I have to pick one of them, obviously.
Yep.
And I mean, the argument here is that Recon made a really nice compliment to her at the end of the fight, and she had that conversation with Vanguard, and Entry and her had this really good piece of cooperative work where he threw this little blue thingy at her, and then the whole hologram thing.
Yep.
But I do actually think I'm going to give it to Recon because that compliment was really heartwarming for someone who so desperately wants to do the right thing and be a hero.
Good job.
Being told in such unequivocal terms that she did good in a heroic situation is very important.
So, yeah, do you give influence to Recon?
Yep.
Do
Yep.
Recon already have it?
He does, so he can move my labels up and down.
Did I have it?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah, so let's
Or maybe that I misunderstood you, but I mean, I asked in the beginning who I had influence over, and
no, because I looked at your play.
I have influence over. Yeah, I have influence
Yeah,
over you. You may
had
not
the-
necessarily have influence over me. Ah, my bad. Sorry.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So now
I'm just so
influence-
used to all of us having influence over all of us.
Well, I do have now, I think. influence
Yes.
over
Now you
everybody,
do.
so it's
Now
like-
you do. at least.
Influence is a funny beast, right? You can always because you can spend it. It just flies around everywhere. It's kind of fun.
We haven't been spending it.
It's true. You weren't good at spending it last show, but we'll see about this one. So, would you like to clear condition or mark potential there?
I mark potential.
All right. What about you,
There are
Vanguard?
no conditions to clear. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's fine. I just moved along quickly. Vanguard, what end of session move do you think you'll take?
Probably grow closer to the team.
Yeah, who made you feel welcome?
Yoon.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Our little talk after the fight, I think.
Give
is what
influence to you.
Made up my mind.
Okay, let's see. Well, I think his savior is going to go up, and I think his freak is going to go further down.
All right. Sweet.
Very unfreaky, but extremely saviory.
Would you
My
like
poor
to-
freak.
Would you like to clear a condition or mark potential?
Mark potential.
Okay. What about you, Recon? What is your move?
I think just because he's still stewing in his insecurity, I think he grew into an image of himself.
All right. How do you see yourself and why?
Yeah, he's so far he's seeing himself far superior than the newer guy. Like he sees himself as the guy that Vanguard should be relying on, not the other guy, not the other people.
Yeah.
So he probably just dropped his mundane
Yeah.
and ups his superior.
Seems reasonable. All right. So that makes sense. Okay, great job. So, yeah, good job, everyone. We did it, first session. Let's talk about now. Thalmid, do you have to go right now, or will you be staying around for the cover?
I'm gonna have to dip out right now.
That's okay. Well, thank
Yep.
you very much for playing.
Yep, no problem. I'll watch
See ya.
and see what you guys come up with.
All right. Cool.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, boo.
So, what do we think this our very first issue of Misfits is going to be called? Obviously, it's going to be called
Yay.
It's going to be called something like The Amazing
No.
Misfits or The Marvelous Misfits or The Misfits or something.
No. Welcome to the circus.
Yes, no, I think he meant the overall series of comics, really, like you have the Amazing Spider-Man, and then each has a different title. But I agree, Welcome to the Circus should be the title for this specific issue.
I completely agree. What do you guys think?
I think it's brilliant.
I agree.
Yes.
All right.
It really much was a circus. Two of them
Yes,
got knocked
it
out.
was.
Then there was a lot of
Animals.
hula baloo with animals and a bear in a tutu.
Yeah, the bear in
And
the
a kangaroo
tutu was
with boxing gloves.
bear in the tutu was fucking brilliant.
So, what does the cover look like? Because for some reason, I'm just imagining it would be easy to throw the circus motif at it, but I kind of want it to be like you guys just sitting somewhere eating popcorn.
I think because I think this is the very first issue of a brand new comics book, right?
Yes.
And if you make it extremely silly or put bears in tutus or whatever on the front page, it won't sell.
Obviously, we need to target our demographic.
Yes. So even though it was hilarious, what I suggest happens here is that you have sort of like a hero shot, not unlike what we have here on the screen, on the front cover, but in the background, there is a huge circus tent, and over the entrance of the circus tent hangs a big sign saying "First Bank of Halcyon City."
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
And if you want to make it a little bit more edgy to sell, you make it like the tent bit Joker-esque. So you do the shading, you do the
Right.
stuff, so it looks more. It's like a creepy clown kind of look.
You do the McFarlane shading.
Yes, precisely.
Sure. Oh yeah, I'm into that. Okay, so that's the Misfits. Welcome to the circus. First issue. All right, I look forward to
I
seeing how
love
you
that
go.
because not only was it welcome to the circus because of the ones we fought, but quite frankly, we're a bit of a circus act ourselves.
Exactly
Yeah, we
right.
are.
That's the subtext, right? It's
Yes, yes, it really is.
welcome to this comic book.
Yes.
That's also why the first thing Moira said when she saw the situation from outside is like, I thought we were the circus.
Mhm.
All right, well done, everyone. Thanks for playing. Cool characters you wound up with.
Yes.
I'm looking ever so much forward to seeing your ups and downs and your spins and your kick flips.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Those damn miss.
Right.
So, thank you very much for playing, and to you, dear viewing audience, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Masks: A New Generation on CharismaToAC. This our very first in the series that is going to be called Misfits. I will be calling it Misfits just because I fumbled the ball so much on the last show where I kept
It's
forgetting
okay.
everything. So that's what I'm going to be calling this, I think. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And we will be back in the future with even more shenaniganry from these lovely, well, blooming superheroes.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks for that, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.